Live from John McClane's Really Bad Hangover. This is the Way of the Future podcast. This week we will be discussing Ash vs. Evil Dead, Episode 7, The Expanse, Episode 1. That one we will be replacing the leftovers with. Fargo, Season 2, Episode 10, the finale. Yeah. And then on a little side note at the end, the first episode of Dryvers. I'm Evan Jones.
I'm Dr. Frankenstein.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ian Jones.
And let's just jump into Ash vs. Evil Dead. This episode was actually pretty full of violence, I feel like. I mean, just because of the sheer addition of guns in it. And it did a job of actually pointing that out, which I wasn't really a big fan of. Like, the guns are dangerous type of viewpoint in this episode. And, you know, like, they were kind of trying to make the militia people out to look crazy. But, I mean, if society did collapse, those guys wouldn't look that crazy. Though, I will say the guys in the truck were crazier than the ones that were near the bunker.
Kind of jumping ahead there.
I kind of feel like these two episodes, like, they were better than the two before it.
Yeah.
But they were still, like, not there.
But
it was better than the two before it.
I thought what made it better was the amount of gore. Like, they really upped the gore this episode.
This particular episode that we just watched really kind of, like...
I don't know if they upped the gore, but, like...
No, it kind of brought me back to the first two. Like, with the violence factor.
Yeah, but there was gory shit, like, all throughout. Like, I feel like the gore is the only thing that's actually...
Stayed the same?
Yeah, been consistent throughout the whole show.
Yeah, just this time we had a lot more because there's more deaths.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, this episode, more than most of the episodes, and you're right, since the beginning at least, it felt like a balancing act between the funny and the gory. Like, and I feel like they did a pretty good job, though I'm still, like, kind of annoyed with the sidekick characters. Like, I don't like Pablo. Like, at this point, I'm not a big fan of Pablo. Like, I like his hair, and that's about it. Like, his attitude, like, the whole, like, trying to stay optimistic about fucking everything. Like, I hate to say it, but, like, he's representing, like, a sect of people in life that I kind of hate. Because, like, I feel like those type of people are, like, the type of people that let bad shit happen, you know? Because they're always trying to look at the bright side. But, like, even some of his shit, like, talking about the rusty chain and whatnot, made me fucking smile, like, inadvertently. I didn't even want to.
He chuckled.
Yeah, it got me. But... I don't like the girl still.
I think this episode had the biggest budget so far. Because they had a lot of actors that actually had to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that, and they also showed Lucy Lawless naked.
Yeah, they probably had to pay
that costs a lot of money.
You notice, still, Lucy Lawless is only like a 1 minute segment.
Yep.
Yeah,
she didn't even speak in it.
Yeah, she was just naked.
They definitely paid her for one episode's worth of fucking acting, and they're just gonna fucking stretch it over the whole season. That's what I'm calling right now. Because she's not going to fucking have, like, maybe 2 episodes. Because I'm pretty sure, like, the last episode will have her in it, like, a lot. Or the episode before. Who knows what's going to actually happen.
It's kind of reminding me of, like, all these Marvel movies with, like, where they show Thanos in the last, like, second, you know? It's like,
this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
keep watching.
And then Thanos is probably finally, like, time for me to step up. And then, like, 6 movies later, he's going to step up.
Yeah.
And in that span of time, it's going to be like 20 years you're going to have to wait to see Thanos, like, actually step up.
And when and it's just going to be him, like, landing on Earth, and then him stepping forward 1 step, and then it's going to cut.
You know, like, the whole backstory, too, like, I'm not sure it even fucking, like, makes a lot of sense. Like, with Lucy Lawless's character, she's the daughter of the dude who fucking found the book in the first place and actually recited the fucking bullshit that, like, brought on the evil in the first place.
That's what she claims.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what she claims, but if, like, she is to be taken for her word, at least, like, and that is true, then, like, what right does she even have to hold it against Ash for basically doing the same fucking thing?
There's definitely something.
Like, I can't be mad at my dead dad because he's dead, so let's fucking be mad at Ash. Like, I don't know. It fucking seems...
The Deadites keep saying, like, you'll never have what you want, blah, blah, blah. So obviously she has, like, an ulterior motive if she is the daughter. But I'm pretty sure that she's not. I'm pretty sure that they're just using...
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the daughter and she just made deals with fucking, like, the demons or whatever the fuck they are to come back to get Ash because I don't know, somehow it's
maybe
his
she wants to get her, maybe she wants to get her dad's soul back.
The only thing she was wearing when she came back out of the fire were those bracelets that we were talking about. Like, so.
She had bracelets?
Yeah.
I missed those. Okay.
They're like, they have like symbols or runes on them or something. That's probably something to do with it.
Probably is what's keeping her alive.
Or just, like, looking alive. She might not actually be...
She might be a deadite.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, maybe she is a deadite, but that's what, like, makes her, like, be able to act like a human.
I think, if anything, she's either like a witch or something, or one of those other demons that, like, was in the book. Because they were talking about how they're, like, almost separate from deadites. But
either way, they still haven't, like, developed, like, pretty much a good, like, reason storyline-wise to fucking be hunting Ash.
And if she's a demon, why is she driving a Charger with a fucking...
Because, like, dude...
yeah, but she's driving
Chargers
a Charger...
are cool.
Yeah, but
Demons
it's got
like
the button
cool
that poops
stuff.
the fucking sword, the knife out. Like,
It did look like poo. It looked like poo.
She's obviously been around for a very long time to have that kind of tech.
Either that or she just, like, installs a fucking poop chute in every car she fucking steals.
Yeah, maybe. Or
They're
there's
super fast. That's her one veritable skill.
Or there's more than one book because someone had to have summoned her, right? If she was a demon.
wait a second. How did she even find the car? Because
she went to the diner.
The cop lady stole it.
She walked to the diner.
I know, but how did she know? Like,
I think that there's...
Yeah, it has to be something like that, but it's just...
I think it's more like Sam Raimi tells a story that's entertaining, not exactly, like, without plot holes.
She had, like, the same clothes on when she got in the car, too?
Yeah,
she did. I'm pretty sure she did, at least. They grow back, dude. That's the way it works. She made a deal that she, like, is
clothed at all times.
She has skin and she has the same clothes. Yeah, no, it had the Deathgasm guy. That was crazy. And if you haven't seen it, watch Deathgasm. It's really entertaining. There was a lot of gore.
Len looked like he kind of reminded me of the girl and the mom in the basement of the first movie, mixed with like Freak Show from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Because he had the big bumpy head.
Yeah.
He had like
and the
Cro-Magnon eyebrows.
Yeah. And the stringy hair too.
Yeah.
To go with it.
He just needed to start singing about Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
What song did he sing about Jesus?
I don't remember.
I wanted to say it was like, "Come on, ride the Jesus train," but I'm not sure if it was, I'm not sure if that was him or one of my substitute teachers in like 7th grade.
Wow.
yeah. It was crazy actually. If that was the memory I'm remembering, he sang something right before he ate shit on a fucking rolling chair. Yeah, it was nuts. Fucking.
Did he remind you of Len from Ash vs. Evil Dead?
No, but I did like Lem. I thought they did a good job of making Lem look scary. His voice was ridiculous, but also that fits as well with the Deadites.
Yeah. He was a classic Deadite.
The only time that the Deadites don't sound ridiculous is when they do that fucking crazy like fucking layered speech where it sounds like 3 voices on top of each other.
And Dead by Dawn.
Yeah. And they're like screaming it. Dead by Dawn. Like that.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I wish the Deadites would be a little scarier because he was just kind of like
comedic.
He was like playing around with them and shit, and like jumping up on things. And he wasn't really even attacking them.
Well, he's like, I do like how they made the Deadites super agile, but I know what you're talking about. Like,
he
was Ash vs. Evil Dead Deadite.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I mean,
he was
he
was just like
Evil Dead 2 Deadite.
Yeah, he was an Evil Dead 2 Deadite.
Even the Evil Dead 2 ones were still like attacking him, like full on, like trying to kill him, not just breathing fire at him and like doing. It could have just hid in a corner and stabbed them both in the back or something. Like,
okay. Can I say what I didn't like? The black cop lady and him.
Just right out, like going right at it.
She like started to fucking fall for him like instantly, and it's only the episode after.
If this were an actual like real life drama, right? The only type of fucking like justification I could give for that is like basically her fucking mind is cracking under like the stress of what's actually happening, and
so she's falling for this older white
guy. Let's just fucking old white guy.
Or because Ash is like the El Jefe or whatever, he has some sort of weird magnetism, like magical magnetism, and that's why
being the El Jefe is
a diner chick.
Yeah, but she was like,
wait,
give it time.
No, she didn't go to the bathroom.
Give it time. If he was with her for a couple days.
Wasn't she a Deadite at that time though already?
No. Give it a couple days though, and I bet he would have got her.
I guess he would have needed a couple days though, but he didn't have that. He was like, "Hey, come into the next room."
Being the El Jefe is an aphrodisiac. No, well, maybe though. I don't know.
I didn't like it. I didn't like how soon she fell for him, and I kind of felt like it was like kind of out of place with the story.
I do actually appreciate Ash's fucking like very, very over the top fucking like pickup artist bullshit when it isn't being recepted well. I like it a lot more when it's like that. I don't like it when somebody's actually
She's totally buying into it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Especially since he's so old now. Like I wouldn't even have liked it when Bruce Campbell was young, but like the joke is supposed to be that he's this old fucking hornball and nobody wants a piece of that, you know? Like not like, oh my god, you're so sexy because you're killing people. Like it's like
don't you think that she should have fell for him if she was going to at all, like maybe before the last episode?
I think it's just that the Raimis don't have a good like.
I don't see why she would fall for him
at all.
Right? At all, because like up until this point, she's thought that he was the cause of all of this.
Yeah.
So like for her, like in a split second, to like jump on board and say like, oh yeah, you're not as bad as I thought you were. Hey, let's bone.
I think her character's like, just written poorly altogether.
I think she might have mental disease.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Is if it was a real world type thing, like it would make sense, kind of, if she was fucking like having a mental breakdown.
But I bet Sam and his brother aren't talking about how like, yeah, then she's gonna have a breakdown and then fall for fucking Ash. I bet she's like, no, then she's just gonna fall for Ash. She's just because we gotta make Ash look like a pimp.
Well, and there's 4 other writers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funnier when Ash thinks he's a pimp, but he looks like a fucking wash-up.
Yeah.
It's way funnier like that.
What I need to do is I need to just keep reminding myself that this is a B-rated show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, I think they just couldn't find any other time to work that shit in.
But like,
plot, and so there's like
30 minutes. Do it.
I think like though like okay, because Army of Darkness was like the most recent one, right?
Yeah.
And I do feel like that's what this show has the most in common with, actually. Like, but it's weird because it's not like. I think that they thought, like, oh, if we just keep using that funny and then we put the gore back in, it'll go back to Evil Dead 2. But it isn't.
No, it's not.
It's like, instead of doing that, it's like, it's doing this weird thing where it's like, oh, okay, here's some super gore, and then here's some funny. And then here's some super gore, and then here's some funny, and more funny.
I think the main difference is
it's all segmented, though, it
Evil
feels.
Dead 2, Ash is still, like, terrified of what's going on. To the point where it almost makes him crazy. There's still comedy, but he is.
It does make him crazy. Like that's actually when the funny starts coming in. Is when he's like cracking, like when he's fucking like
laughing in the chair.
Yeah, exactly. When he's laughing with all the fucking mounted animal heads and the lamps, like fucking dancing. With
that was funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
That's
but like,
that's probably my favorite Evil Dead movie.
It's the best. And like, dude, there's more reasons than like just the movie itself why it's the best too. If you like watch the making of that movie. Like, it's all sorts of fucking circumstances coming together to make that. Like, the fucking effects artists mixed with, like, the writing, and then mixed with how the first one was received, and all sorts of shit came together to make Evil Dead.
The first one still scares the shit out of me.
The first one's legitimately fucking scary. That's why. Like, the first one's damn near fucking Lovecraftian. Like, it's just like, oh, old evil fucking awakens, fucking messes shit up, fucking makes people do shit that they'd never do, like fucking.
You showed me that movie.
Stabbing themselves in the fucking. No.
We watched that movie on VHS in your old apartment. And it scared the shit out of me. I couldn't even sleep that night.
Dude, that part where that chick fucking like is moving this pencil around her leg and then eats through her fucking wrist and shit. It's and then also the tree rape, but. That's like honestly the
tree rape wasn't scary.
Yeah, it's not even that bad compared to the rest. It's kind of scary.
You just never saw anything like that before.
Yeah.
Well, like when I saw it for the first time, I hadn't seen anything like that before, and I was just kind of wondering the whole time, like, why she didn't really fight back.
Because she's held down by other fucking like
everything was like
yeah.
I know she was like, but it didn't look like
open.
she was even struggling. She was just like,
yeah, B-rated actress.
Alright.
She's probably used to that position.
Yeah.
It's because
I thought she looked
most of the scene they filmed in reverse, so if she did move a lot, it would look weird.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes sense. But I didn't know that at the time, and I was just watching. I was like, okay, so she's just like letting this happen. All right, okay.
I think he really did have to hold his breath when he went in and fell into that puddle in the second movie.
Yeah.
I think they just put an air tank.
Yeah, I think there's an air tank.
Way more air came up out of that than can you even be in your lungs.
Yeah, it looked like a scuba exhale. Yeah, I don't know.
This episode's it's getting closer and closer to the finale, and
he ditched the fucking sidekicks at the very end.
Yeah, we're going back to the cabin.
It's kind of fun. Yeah, which Yeah, the Hand showed up
saw
there.
the Hand.
Yeah. I really want to see Ash versus the Hand.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And I could do for a full episode without the sidekicks, to be honest. Like, the fucking girl was, like, the one that's been around since the beginning was pretty annoying in this one, actually. Like, the give me a flamethrower. Oh, the meat slammer.
Oh, I wanna
the
kick
meat
some
tenderizer
ass.
isn't good enough.
I just hope they're just trying to play it up like that so she can die.
Yeah.
And then Pablo will be like, "Oh, I'm so sad," then bring her back to life or something.
He'll have to kill her, and then Ash will be like, "Now you're just like me. Pablo.
Now you're a Hefe.
Because you killed your girlfriend.
I really, right? No, seriously though, I really need Pablo's balls to drop though. Like his shit, his shit's getting so annoying and tired and just. No, like, his whole routine is just like, come on, man. You've gone through horrible ass shit at this point. It's like, fucking take it seriously, just a little bit. Not even, like, fully, but, like, even Ash takes it more seriously than him. And Ash doesn't take anything seriously.
I'm actually scared that the next episode won't even have Ash in it.
Ooh, don't say that.
They go the other way with it?
Yeah, it'll be them looking for him the whole time.
Yeah,
and then we'll get like a 30-second thing of Ash showing up at the cabin.
It'll show up at the cabin in the first like 5 minutes. And go to that.
Yeah,
maybe. The only way I'd accept that is if it was a Lucy Lawless fucking centric episode where they basically decide to explain what the fuck's going on.
More like,
her.
Here's the parts where we actually had to pay her. What we brought her in for.
Yeah.
They're gonna meet.
I bet we won't even see that though until the cabin.
Yeah, they're gonna probably meet at the cabin. It's gonna be him and her probably.
If it's just
Final showdown.
If it's just all sidekicks though, I'm not down.
What if she's the girlfriend?
No, she already said that she wasn't though.
Ash has never seen her, so there's no way to really tell.
Yeah. Right. What if she was the girlfriend?
No, I could have sworn she already said that she was the daughter of the fucking.
Yeah, but that's taking her on her word.
Huh?
Like, that's taking her on her word. She could be anybody or nobody, that she said.
Well, even if she isn't actually the daughter, I guarantee you she's taken on the form of the daughter. Like,
she will. Or something similar.
Well, like, they never even mentioned another daughter before this.
I don't know why there would be any reason to think that she wasn't the daughter, though. If anything, like, the daughter, if she actually thought Ash was at fault, would be the only person that would be willing to trade her soul to fucking come back to actually fucking kill Ash. So.
But what if she's just like an agent of evil and she didn't trade her soul for anything?
Well, then how's she any different? How's she any different? Like, why is she independent?
What if she basically
why
is
is she
chasing
why
after
is she
Ash
independent
to
of the
get
Deadite though?
She wants the book.
She wants the Necronomicon.
Yeah, but how is that different than what the Deadites are already doing? Like, I mean, like
she's working with them. That's
she
my
isn't,
whole point.
Though she's fighting
you don't
them
know
along.
That.
No, you do know. She's been killing them the whole time.
They called her what was it? They called her a backstabber. Basically,
yeah,
right?
like
they said that she was pretended to work for them and then switched sides.
She's killed at least 3 of them. Like,
she might just want the book for herself.
I think she wants the book to control demons.
Hey, that's fine, but like that means that
like
she's different though. She's different than what the Deadites really are.
It sucks because like they're not really giving it. Like we could go back and edit out all the stuff without Lucy Lawless and then play all the stuff with Lucy Lawless, and none of it will make any sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like half of it's like she's like in an area that Ash just fucked up too. So like if you actually went back and played it. It'd be like, oh, well, I don't really care because she didn't actually find him and we didn't see any evidence from Ash's point of view that anybody was even following him anyway. So that wouldn't, to be honest, though, like, none of it really fucking matters anyway, almost, so far, aside from the hand. Like, oh, she had the hand, and then that's gonna come forward, like, later on.
The hand already left.
That's what I'm saying, is like...
That hand must move really quick because it made it to the cabin from the...
Well, that depends on how far. That depends on how far Lem's bunker was from fucking the Brujos, which didn't seem like it was very far. And in fact, none of these places seem like they're very far from each other.
Yeah, which that's what we said last.
Yeah, it's a little weird, really.
Yeah, the writing is just kind of strange, but it's. I mean, I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
It's definitely supposed to be dumb.
I'm taking all of it with a grain of salt because I know that it's supposed to be B-rated.
It's just...
It's better than, no Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Which is, the alternative.
Yeah.
We could have gotten nothing.
I really hope I feel that way by the end of this. I really, really hope I don't... Not just well, fuck, that was bad. That wasn't worth it. That wasn't worth it at all.
This was episode 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's 3 more.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. New Year's gonna have fucked up.
I kind of want everybody to die but Ash.
What
like usual, by the way, but...
They might leave us in suspense and just, like, do that, kill everybody, and then have Ash be the last one, and then make us wait for the next season.
I almost feel like that's too cookie cutter.
I want...
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to...
Yeah.
This show seems so cookie cut already. That...
Yeah, it is. It's very formulaic. And
I just
like,
hope
we've been
for
moving
something
along.
better than that, personally.
Then everybody dies?
Yeah.
We called this whole season.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be cookie cutter, but it would also be, like...
True to the formula of Evil Dead. I get that. I just...
And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, you're right, it would fucking kind of be, like, almost 2 by the numbers for Evil Dead, but at the same time, like, even if they didn't mean to, they have built these characters up in such a way that I kind of want to watch them all die, aside from Ash.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they were they're all gonna be plot devices for him later to have to kill them back.
Which something. I'm completely cool with, and, like, that's kind of what the fucking point of that cabin is. It's for people to die other than Ash, I think.
Or Ash gets his hand back, and it takes over his body, makes him a Deadite thing again, and then Pablito has to bring him back by telling him how much he loves him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he brings him
back. And they have
back.
a gay makeout scene. Like True Blood.
No, they'll tie him to a chair and then like tell him that he needs to come back, and then
he'll just
Pablito will do his Brujo shit.
What? So they'll just run around the woods until morning comes again.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his little mirror thing though, and his ex-girlfriend is like fucking been dead for 40 years or some shit right now.
So like, I kind of feel like what's gonna happen is Ash is gonna get his hand back, and then he's gonna be possessed again, and then like they're all gonna show up and be like, oh my god, possessed Ash, and then they're gonna like try to like give him an exorcism. And, like, Pablito's going to use his Brujo skills because his uncle left him an amulet that never taught him how to be a fucking wizard.
I bet that there will be a scene where the hand and Ash meet, and the hand's all like...
They make out?
Well, no, like, basically they're going to pantomime it because the hand can't talk, but the hand's going to be like, I missed you, Ash. And Ash will, like, kind of look at it like, oh...
It's my hand.
I missed you too,
Just
hand.
gonna flip them off.
Yeah, and then it's gonna turn into that. And like, yeah, it'll turn, and then he'll get poked in the eyes, all Three Stooges style, like normal.
It would be even funnier if all of a sudden it flipped its thumb up, and then the thumb had a face, and it started talking to him.
Like a little mouth on it.
Like Thumb Wars.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Thumb Wars, yeah.
I don't want that.
I missed you, Ash.
Yeah! Just making fucking noises like that. That's what all those thumbs did. They like scream and talk like fucking ridiculous style. Okay. Next up, The Expanse. We started watching that. It's written by the dudes who did Children of Men and also some of the writers that did Iron Man, I guess. Also. Taking place in the 23rd century. What do you think was fucking happening on that ship? With the big blue blob floating there. And, like, she was there, too. Also, like, the soldiers were running around there while she was locked in a room. Like, I couldn't, like, really... I mean, I assume we'll figure that out later on. But, like, does anybody have any theories there? Like, I think, like... I personally think the blue thing is, like, maybe a weapon of some sort. It's either a weapon, I think, or, like, some sort of alien species that... Basically, that ship had some sort of fucking plan. It was happening, and then something fucked it all up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it just interrupted it entirely. And, jumping ahead, like, a lot, but, like, later on, like, well, I'll deal with it when we get to that. But there's something about that ship that is different.
You're talking about the ship that they had to land on and it had the hole blown in it?
Yeah, it's the same ship.
Yeah.
From
what is it called?
Scapuli.
Scopuli.
Scopula.
I call it scrotum.
Yeah. The scrotum shit. It shares the first 2 letters. Might as well be scrotum.
So she's like the only survivor.
Well, that we know of at least. And if she even survived, which I assume she did because, like...
She left a distress signal with her screaming for help. But that could
well,
have been just
you don't
her being
know.
recorded.
You don't even know if that was her.
Yeah.
Even. Like, that... Who knows who left
like,
that distress signal?
I didn't even, like... I had a hard time paying attention.
There's a lot of politics going on in this show.
Yeah.
You kind of got to, like, really pay attention to it. And it does, we've seen part of the second episode. We'll wait from now on. But fucking it does start explaining itself as it goes along, but it's the beginnings, kind of like, well, at least the book Man in the High Castle, where it starts off basically introducing you to the characters, and then showing you what the universe is like by showing their activities going along, you know, and you start piecing together like what's actually, well, also like what type of setting it is, like what's really going on in the world.
It reminds me of like Blade Runner and
like hyper fucking civilizations that have merged and meshed together and whatnot.
It's like a lot of different movies put together, basically, for me.
I
like the way they filmed it. I like the way their CG is for their ships and stuff like that. But I've never had issues with CG ships ever since like they started making them better.
I think the only CG ships I ever had a problem with were fucking the ones in Star Wars. Like in the special editions.
Oh yeah, you can tell that they were not even supposed to be there.
Well, no, the only reason I had a problem with it is because the fucking the toy model ones fucking look better, and like I was like, dude, you shouldn't have replaced that. You should not have went back and done that.
I went to the Star Wars exhibition, and the ships and stuff looked fucking awesome.
How they have all the old models and shit.
Oh my god, they looked so cool.
The one at the Tech Museum or whatever.
Yeah,
those are basically on like a museum now.
Yeah, really.
They send them around to different
They belong
places.
in a museum.
They look so cool, but some of them actually look like stuff that you could just build at home. Like
all of them.
No, you could.
All of them, especially the trench for the Death Star. They basically just went out and bought a bunch of model kits, like for like spaceships and stuff, and just took a whole bunch of pieces from them and put them together.
I could have sworn the other component, aside from model kit parts, were fucking milk cartons.
That's for the Stormtrooper outfits.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, they made it out of fucking crazy shit though, and just spray paint over it, and all the joints disappear.
Traditional effects look awesome.
Just don't rub up against the wall wrong, or your shit won't fall apart.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
these ships that were on the show, they looked kind of like they might have been models with CG just put around it. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's all CG.
It's all CG. I'm pretty sure the outer space stuff.
Looks great though.
I actually didn't even mind the zero-G stuff. Like I feel like they've. Like, the hair looked a little weird, right? Before she bundled it up.
They did a good job passing it off.
I think she's doing, or, well, not she even, like, all the actors that have been in Zero-G so far in that show have done a good job of, like, slowing their movements down and just making it look like they're moving.
Realistically, that's one of the only problems is because you don't slow down in space like that.
Yeah, I know.
That's just a filming thing where people expect you to be like that in space, so if it's not like that, then people think it looks off.
Here's the thing, though, is I feel like you would actually slow down, though, in... No, I'm not saying that you would be forced to slow down in Zero-G. I'm saying that you yourself would choose to slow down in Zero-G, because if you move too fast, it creates momentum, and then you start doing like a weird flip.
If you watch videos of people on the International Space Station, they don't slow down.
I bet I could make myself flip on accident.
They just get used to moving like that, and it's different because they don't have like mag boots or whatever you want to call them, but they get used to moving around using their hands to pull themselves places and stuff, and so you basically get a whole new, like a different form of locomotion than normal.
So you tell me I couldn't go like this?
You would.
And move.
He's humping the air.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like when she was complaining and
that wouldn't move me though.
When she was in the ship, when she
was
in the
but
room,
that's why you don't do that.
When she
that's what I'm saying though. Is that's why they would move slow, or slower than normal movements. So like you wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna turn my page real fast. Then you fucking do a barrel roll.
If you have magnetic boots, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be fucking.
Oh well, that's true. That's true.
It's just because that's what people expect it to look like.
She wasn't using the magnetic boots for yeah, you're right though. Even when they're using the boots, they're fucking like really slow.
Yeah. So when she was in the room and she was trying to get out, because she was moving so slow, I was like, "There's no way you're gonna get out of that room moving so slow, bitch." The fucking door pops open, and I'm like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, I'm like, that door would be pressure sealed. Like it'd be rated to like
There'd
stand
be no
up to
way
a vacuum. She wouldn't just bust it open with her back.
She used her fucking
shoulder. I was like,
shoulder.
she wouldn't even hurt herself landing into that thing so slow. She'd just be like,
"Yeah." Oh. Well, I mean, she was pushing her feet up against the other wall.
Yeah,
so.
she was.
I would have bought like some weird fucking like, hey, let's use my fucking gravity boot and hack it out to explode or something. But like, dude, she doesn't even have like proper momentum.
Unless,
I feel like
what she was in wasn't a room for people. It was like a cargo hold or something. Then maybe.
The show doesn't even seem like it's centric around her. It seems like it's centric around the good cop or the guy that's going to be a cop.
Actually, I do think it's centered around her. It's just we don't know what the fuck she was trying to do there.
I think it's centered around that blue thing.
Well no, I feel like whatever the girl was trying to do got fucked up by the blue thing.
There's three main characters.
She obviously didn't know about
There's three main characters, pretty much. There's the cop, the senator or UN lady, and then there's the guy who was on the Canterbury, the XO of that.
Wait, who's the other one? The girl?
The senator lady?
Which
She's
one
that
is she?
the Indian that has the crazy.
Oh yeah.
They were like torturing that Belter guy.
Yeah,
you call her the robot lady.
All I thought about was like the good cop bad cop thing that was going on with those two guys.
It's definitely
and now like he's like, oh, he's too young to go on this mission, so I'm gonna send you. So now I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be like the old dog fighting the new dog.
Yeah, he's gonna bring him into it. Probably.
It kind of reminds me of Training Day.
I actually do think that's the best part of the show so far is the detective shit going on the belt. It actually
that seems more interesting to me than the actual story of the girl.
Yeah,
it's the most Blade Runner part of the show, and it's got kind of noir elements going on too. The whole setting of Sarah is like more interesting than most of the series. Yeah, is more interesting than most of like the other settings in the show too. Aside from the Canterbury was cool, but it blew up. But series, I'm
pretty sure that like the whole like outer space stuff, like that's gonna eventually go back to the belt anyway, because that's where the Canterbury was supposed to be going.
Yeah, that's where they were headed.
What did they say that they were out near fucking Saturn or some shit? Yeah, and they were getting ice there for the belt, because remember they don't have a lot of
the
research.
belt is in between Mars and Saturn.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, between Mars and Saturn?
Yeah.
I thought it
so
was
wait,
the
I thought
Kuiper
it was
belt.
yeah,
No.
not the Kuiper belt. I thought it was the belt in between Mars and Earth.
No, there's no belt in between Mars and Earth.
What? Really?
It's out past Mars.
So wait, where is it? Is it closer to is it in between Jupiter and Saturn, or in between Jupiter and Mars then?
I can't remember, but it's definitely past
somewhere
Mars and in between Mars and Saturn.
Okay. Weird. Okay, I misunderstood
it's
where
Mars
even
and Jupiter.
Okay.
In between.
Okay. So they're still pretty fucking far off though. They're like the ones that are the furthest out then.
They said they were a million.
Like, cause I figured the belt was and also, well, not Ceres, or I mean Canterbury I thought was out by Saturn, but I thought Ceres was fucking in between Earth and Mars.
No.
But it's further out then.
Ceres is part of the belt. That's what they're called, belters.
Yeah, no, but I thought the belt was there too. That's what I mean. Okay. No, Ceres itself though, like the setting, it reminds me a lot of fucking Midgar from Final Fantasy VII actually. Like how it's divided into top and bottom.
Yeah.
Also, like just the bottom part reminds me of fucking Demolition Man. Where fucking what's his name lives.
If anything, I was gonna say it reminds me of Total Recall.
Total Recall all the way.
Well, it didn't remind me of Total Recall until the air stuff. Like, but no, the only reason it reminded me of fucking Demolition Man more than Total Recall is because there's an entire fucking like utopian civilization living on top of them in Demolition Man, whereas in Total Recall, it's like outside of where the mutants live is just fucking Mars. You know, like airless Mars.
We don't know what's outside of that because they only showed the place where they actually inhabited, because that's where they
in Total Recall or in series.
In this show that we're watching.
No, they showed it up above. Remember, there was that drone flying by at the beginning, and it shows like there's a whole like.
Right, but they're inside like a pod with oxygen. Is what I mean. Like Total Recall, when they were on Mars, they were inside these like
I think of it
colonies.
I think of it like in Elysium. Did you see Elysium?
No.
Oh well, there's like a space station. It's kind of like a smaller version of Halo, isn't it? From Halo, like
sorta.
Like it's like turned in on itself. I guess you could also say it's like in Gundam, right?
No, in Gundam they're like a basically self-contained. Like imagine like a soda can on its side. It's a kind of like a.
It's a pod.
Yeah, it's completely sealed. While in Halo,
this one's like wrapped around. I thought.
No.
See,
in this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what this is, it's like Cowboy Bebop, Blade Runner, and Total Recall, in my opinion.
But then there's also like military shit going on. There's like fucking Tom Clancy-esque like level of stuff where it's like, oh, there's I think that, like, because they do an emphasis on, like, the Earth and Mars being at odds, but also fucking, like, kind of teaming up to, like, coexist with each other just for survival's sake. But I think that they both want war for some reason. Like, we didn't even get to see Mars, but it talks about them as a warlike culture.
Yeah.
But independent military power.
Yeah, an independent military power. But I don't know.
Nazis.
I get the feeling like, okay, because everybody thinks that there's going to be a cracking point. Like, either people think that there's going to be a cracking point, which is the majority of people on the show, or the optimistic people think that, like, Earth and Mars are just going to get over their fucking differences, right?
Huh.
But, like, yeah, exactly. Like, but our reality, the world we live in dictates, like, that no, war is, like, what most people in power actually want.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's going to happen here. I think that everything we're seeing is, like, both big sides leading into it, and probably even people in the belt having a part in it, you know? Like, in fact, they're probably playing more of a part than the other people, so there's plausible deniability from both sides. They can be like, oh, it wasn't Mars, it was the Belters, and Earth will be all like, oh, it wasn't Earth, it was the Belters, and fuck the Belters, keep being our slaves, you know?
It seemed like they were ethnically Chinese.
The Belters?
Yeah.
And, when I watched the first episode, it had subtitles, and it called it Belter Creole.
Which is
Yeah.
French.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But they were all speaking Mandarin.
That's what they call it.
Maybe Creole means something different than what I think of it as.
Creole
like,
is the Louisiana.
Yeah,
French.
but
It's
do we
French
really know what the word
occupation
means?
Of Louisiana.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
I just
saying.
know what a Creole is.
Yeah, but what if in another language Creole actually means fucking, like, slang?
I don't
You know, like, I don't either. Yeah. Fucking on the, I think the pouring looks crazy on the belt. It looks like fucking you shouldn't pour things. It looks like everything should have a squirty tube.
To go back to your point that a person of mixed European or black descent, especially in the Caribbean, is considered Creole. A mother tongue formed from the contact of two languages through an earlier pidgin stage.
There we go. That's the
A
one.
Portuguese-based Creole. So.
No, but I mean, before you said the Portuguese stuff,
Well,
a
that was
mother
an
tongue
example.
formed from the contact of two languages sounds like what they meant by the term.
English and
Whatever.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
even more like Blade Runner then.
Yeah.
When I saw the Noodle House, I was like, oh man, it's like Blade Runner.
I'm pretty damn sure they're fucking hitting up on that.
That was an homage.
Fucking.
It was an homage to that and an homage to Star Wars.
Oh, the
My friend
cantina.
doesn't like you.
Yeah. Fucking dude, those long bones are fucking crazy. By the way.
They're just tall people, man.
Yeah. But they're weird. Damn. And then later on, you find out they can't even fucking stand up against gravity. It's just weird. I feel like you could just fucking go in there and bend one into a pretzel or something. You know, like a normal human being.
I bet they're forced to be reckoned with in their own.
I don't even know if they would though. They'd be.
What's his name?
They'd look
Fucking
all big and
just
intimidating.
manhandled him pretty easy.
Yeah,
but he's got like gravity training.
Well, he had
he
that
just-
shit, the
other
bone
than-
density
yeah.
stuff.
Well, other
injected
than
into
his
him.
spine, he's normally formed. So, but he'd still have spent his whole, unless he works out independently, spent his whole life growing up under lower gravity than normal. So,
I think the bone density stuff really changed a lot, though. And then fucking hostile guy, he's from Earth, right?
yeah.
But yeah, no, the pouring itself just looks nuts. It looks like I'd be afraid like I was pouring it and like the thing would fucking do a crazy U-turn and like hit me in the eye or something. You know, and he's always drinking booze too, so it'd burn. What happened to that? Okay, like at the that's a prostitute, right? The chick that's on the...
Yeah.
Okay, what happened in there? Like, because there's a dead guy, right? And then you saw the knife on the floor, so she probably killed him.
You assume he was like trying to beat her or something.
And then she defended herself.
And she
And
slit
then
his
they're
throat.
just ignoring that like knife because they
Must be a
knew
normal
that she was
thing.
defending herself or something.
Maybe
And
she's
that
an informant.
that does seem like how like law enforcement works on the belt. Is like he said there is no law. There's only cops.
She's probably
There's-
a button that he's got.
A button.
You know, like an informant. Like if you need facts about that area,
Oh,
she
for
probably
sure.
knows.
For sure.
The only thing I learned about this show was if you see a giant fucking ice rock you should pay attention to it so you don't lose your arm.
If you listen, they were basically being like, I bet I can load more ice than you in this amount of time, and so I think they were rushing it.
They played the music so loud I couldn't even hear it.
Yeah, I could barely hear
it. The fan was getting in my ears too. Plus my ears just fucking suck. But yeah, like, that was awesome when his arm just flew away.
And then they were like, well, you could get this jelly that will grow your arm back, or like, or not.
Yeah.
Then he's like, come on, man, buy the jelly for me. He's like, no.
He wanted a prosthetic.
Prosthetic arm. Yeah, I heard.
And he was like,
there was a jelly too.
He's like, don't let me get a used one.
Yeah.
Like,
what? I don't want none of that nib
They
junk.
recycle them.
Yeah. Is he a cop or is he just a loader?
No, those guys, that's on the Canterbury. That's a completely separate ship. And they're kind of like...
If you saw that
like
little...
pseudo-military. They're not really in the military, I don't think.
But I think that they're also like... You're right, it is pseudo... No, I think it's pseudo-military, but I think that they also work for just a fucking water company. Because they all have this emblem on it, on their upper left that says pure clean.
Like water farmers.
They remind me of Space Pinkertons, the people that protect
that's what they're like. They're like the crew in Alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of felt like it. I mean, it's just the first episode for me. You guys have seen a couple more. I need to catch up, but
we're just gonna.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused.
We're gonna chill. I think we'll just keep watching. I think the next time we'll watch 2, because we won't have Fargo, right? And then we'll just go 1 from then on, and we'll be caught up at that point.
I'll watch it a couple times so that I know more. I kind of like am a little in the dark.
I like their money. But by the way,
I don't remember their money.
No, you do. It's fucking like crazy. It looks like poker chips and shit.
Oh yeah, it looked like gambling casino.
You said I like plastic or something. Like,
yeah.
It looks like Pogs.
Yeah,
that's what I said
the
when we
slammers.
Got these slammers paid them off in Pogs.
Not the cool slammers though. They're like fucking 8 inches tall.
You can tell how old we are, everyone.
Yeah, Pogs
reference.
I remember I had all my Pogs stored in my Apollo 13.
Yeah, me too.
Apollo 13 rocket Pog store that I got from McDonald's.
And there were Apollo 13 Pogs, dude. That's what dates fucking Pogs. Whenever year Apollo 13 came out, Pogs were at their highest.
I had Mighty Morphin
because you could get that shit from Didn't we get them from McDonald's, dude?
I remember I had I had the I had the Morpher for Mighty Morphins and came with the power coins, and I would use those.
Which were Pogs.
I would use those as Pogs.
Yeah. It's just marbles, but with fucking stupid cardboard bullshit. Like, it was the cheapest form of marbles ever.
People spent so much money on that.
So they're
for like a brief amount of time. Yes.
It's just because I think it's because subconsciously people like coins a lot,
and it's kind of
and those are just coins, and people love collecting coins. So like.
Didn't they used to be on milk cartons? They used to be on milk cartons.
But dude, they were like shitty fucking everywhere. Cardboard, dude. Yeah. They were like literally like made out of the same stuff like cheap board games were made out of.
No, you're right.
Most of them, but then they were the like metal or solid.
Yeah, those were the good ones.
I had a solid metal. Slammer, and everyone wanted it.
I did too.
My favorite were the fucking slammers that were like platform shoes, dude. They were like this big, and you're like, ha 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 ha. Bam!
You know what the funny thing is?
Destroy
I'll go through my old shit.
Fun.
And I'll go through my old shit and I'll be like, you can just throw these out. And then my dad will be like,
what?
You're going to keep your Pogs, boy. And I'm like, Dad, they're just Pogs.
Pogs
like,
do you know how useless
someday. These things are? Yeah. No, you got to hold on to those.
Dude, the only time Pogs
currency.
The only time Pogs are ever gonna fucking be worth anything is like literally thousands of years from now when fucking future civilizations are like investigating the ruins of fucking what our civilization has become, and they find this like Apollo 13. They find a fucking spaceship. Fucking that segments into 3, the Apollo 13 fucking Pog holder, and they open it up and they're like, what are these inside of the spaceship? What do these mean? And then people will be like, oh yeah, religion was based upon that, and then they'll fucking just turn into something big.
I just think they'll just think they're money.
Yeah, right.
Because some
looks like a currency.
Some of them are metal and some of them are cardboard, and they'd be like, "Well, they had paper money, so why
to be fair, also money? that's before fucking like metals were actually like going through the roof. You know, valuable fucking.
Yeah, they're gonna be like harvest slammers.
They might think that.
All right, let's get back on topic.
Well, fucking.
It might happen, and that might be exactly what they're using as currency.
What you were saying though about how like you're kind of lost right now.
Yeah.
I think that's actually not even just like the first episode. I think that's actually the way the storytelling is going, because they wouldn't have shown us that at the very beginning.
It's like Game of Thrones. There's quite a few things that you got to swallow, but Game of Thrones had even more characters to swallow at once. But
Yeah, but Game of Thrones starts off with that White Walker shit, and you're just all like, huh?
I thought it was awesome.
It is. Cool. It's well, that's kind of what they were going for, I think, with the intro of this. Yeah. And then they kind of take a step back, and they're like, okay, let's introduce the setting, and let's introduce the characters. And let's get you into it, you know? I thought the zero-G sex looked dumb. I think that it looked very, very strange, and I could have done without it.
I wanted to be in zero G.
You said you didn't see nipples.
She didn't have any nipples. I checked her boobs out.
Okay.
Like, it looked like they put some filter over her boobs so she didn't have nipples, so that they could show her boobs.
It's called pasties,
or tape.
No. I think they just CG'd over them. They put like a blue dot on her nipple, and then they just CG'd.
I was not paying attention at all to the boobies.
Yeah,
in that way.
They were just boobs without nipples, so she's a clone or something.
It doesn't matter because
she wouldn't have a belly button.
What was that? Kyle XY or
whatever? Yeah.
He doesn't have nipples either. That's even weirder. You could see your reflection in his chest.
No, he didn't have a belly button.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, it was like they're taking it one step further. Cameo from Breaking Bad Mike. Fucking going ape shit crazy.
He didn't die either, so he's gonna stay.
Do you think he's gonna pop back up?
Oh yeah.
I really don't think he's gonna pop back up.
They didn't show him go anywhere though.
I think they shipped him back to Earth.
They took him to the
like a holding facility.
Oh, actually no, he blew up.
Yeah,
like they took him to like a medical facility on the ship.
Yeah.
Like unless the ship didn't actually blow up though, I'm pretty sure like Mike's gone.
Damn it,
sure
Mike.
It blew up.
Yeah, I think it blew up too.
He just missed his plans.
Dude, that was nuts though. He was crying and laughing and crying and shit.
Well, he missed Earth and ground and soil.
Yeah.
I think that putting match heads in coffee is a really bad idea. Fucking he was smashing those things up and just fucking swallowing that shit. Unless match heads are made out of something very different in the future. Because like
heroin.
Otherwise, that's not a good idea.
I thought it was at first too. Like he was hiding his drugs in the match.
Dude, I think it was heroin, or I thought it was drugs too.
But if you notice, like he was asking that doctor guy for something to help him sleep.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was going to bed too right before he ended up on the bridge. Like he was like getting ready to lay down with the chick, and he was like up, and he's like, then he got his little moral dilemma over.
Well, he told the person who was
SOS.
on watch that he couldn't sleep and that he would take over.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Oh, I can't tell if that dude that was hanging on the wall, like the chick on Earth.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that dude was like really that tall and lanky, right? Or if they did some subtle CG to him. Like, could you tell? Because
I think that was really him looking tall, and they made him naked to make him look even longer. But he's not really that tall. It was all camera angle.
Okay, so you think it was?
I think
like
it was a mixture
thing?
of both. I think it was a little bit CG, and he's just kind of a tall, skinny guy.
Yeah,
I think it might be
like
a waste
I
of
think
CG.
I
costs
can't,
money.
I really can't tell though. Like I can't tell like if it is clever camera work or it was CG.
Well, it's
like,
just naked tall guys, in my opinion.
I think it could be just a skinny, lanky guy. But the main thing is when they show his face, he like doesn't have the face of someone who's really that tall and lanky. Like he's like got a normal sized skull. And people who are that big have big heads too.
Yeah.
Like weird shit.
Like that guy they actually showed in the bar. Like he was really that big. And his head is pretty big.
Yeah, he looks like the dude from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Really,
some people are also just unproportionate.
That's what we're saying. It's like people that are born weird.
That and the fact that like a lot of celebrity actors are like not very tall, so it's not hard to find tall other people that want to be actors. I could be on that show and be a giant.
The other thing that you're right, dude. Like really, they film stuff very strange. Like I didn't question it until I saw Idris Elba in The Office, but I think Idris Elba might actually be like short, because like dude, compared to a lot of people, he wasn't that big.
I'll look that up.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise
right?
is pretty short. Tom Cruise is like 5'3".
Fucking the one other thing I wanted to talk about that I picked up this time watching it was on the how did you pronounce the scapulae? Fucking when they were when the Canterbury crew went in there to check it out, right? There was a big fucking hole in the side, and fucking all the air and oxygen had been sucked out of it. So obviously something happened after that chick saw that big blue thing. Also, the big blue thing was gone. Like, so what the fuck happened?
When she opened that door, That's what I'm thinking. There's a couple things I'm thinking.
They walked through the hallway though that she went down, right? Because they show her going down a hallway. I guess like.
But because they'd all look the same on a ship like that. But I think maybe that blue thing was the fusion core that they were talking about being turned off.
Why was it eating people though?
I think because if you looked at it, there were a bunch of like little blue-looking firefly things around it. And so it could be like a nanobot or something, or like some sort of alien life or something.
All I know is
it was sucking the person into the core or whatever it was, but it could just be also a big separate thing.
Not only person, but like, dude, you heard several like footsteps running around outside when she was locked in, and I assume because nobody was there when she got out that they all got eaten. So like, it's very weird. Like, I don't know. I think it could be a weapon, but it also seems like it's alive. So
Idris Elba is 6'3".
Okay, he's pretty tall. Then like, maybe people in the office are taller than I thought they were.
I know that
it goes either way. Then.
Yeah.
But like, no matter what happened there, somebody shut off the comms also, and then set up that other secondary fucking.
What I think happened is that Mars ship, or the stealth ship that came and blasted that hole in the side. And took all the bodies or whatever was left in there and turned off all the comms and the fusion core or whatever, just so nobody would ever find it.
Okay.
They just didn't know that little box had been put in there to.
I don't think the Mars ship is actually a Mars ship, by the way. Like it's like, it could be, but I get strong fucking Star Trek vibes of that one movie. Klingons. Remember? Yeah, the fucking fake Klingons. Yeah, dude, it makes me think of that, especially how like it had the stealth. And it just came out at the last second and decided to blow up some fucking, like, military ship that was associated with it. And, like, at the beginning it was saying that Mars and Earth are on the verge of war.
Well, neither of the ships that they blew up are military.
Well, still, it would have affected, though, like, the treaty between the two, or the balance of peace, you know?
So they were using that beacon and stuff as, like, a homing device for a trap?
Yeah, I think it's the closest thing you could think to, like, a false flag.
It's space pirates.
Well,
that's like piracy.
No, I think it's politics.
But that's like piracy too. I mean, like you would do that.
Enough,
you would do that to trick someone to come close, so you could just rob them of all their stuff too.
That's what
they said. It was Pirate Bay.
Yeah,
Pirate
they do
bait.
Refer to it as. Oh, is it bait?
B-A-I-T.
I swore they said Pirate Bay twice.
I thought that they were saying that too, but it actually does make sense as Pirate Bait more in the context when I think about it. That makes a lot of sense.
Anytime I think of space, I think of space pirates. So.
Yeah, I think
that's what I would.
I think of Space Truckers, starring Dennis Hopper and fucking.
I think of EVE Online and people losing like thousands of dollars in ship battles.
Well, anyway, the other guy was Steven Dorff in Space Truckers, but we should watch that movie sometime. Actually,
Steven Dorff is the guy in The Wall, right?
No, Wait, The Wall.
Pink Floyd, The Wall.
No.
Yeah, no. Steven Dorff's the bad guy in Blade.
Yeah, the first Blade.
Some motherfuckers is always trying to escape uphill.
Anyways, let's get to Fargo.
Well,
Fargo was the final episode, and I'm sad.
You don't have anything else to say about The Expanse, though?
I need to watch more.
I think in general, like, the whole thing, like, sets a very good stage, though, for, like, a realistic future.
I really want to learn more about what's going on before I really start talking about what I think is going to happen next.
Okay.
Because there's not enough for me to play off of this
there
first
wasn't
episode.
that much.
It's all set up for sure.
It was all pretty straightforward.
It even has like a pretty crazy drop off too.
It
it's
looks
all
good
like
enough.
Boom! It blows up and then.
It looks good enough for me to want to watch the next one.
I do. Yeah, I think it's really top notch for sci-fi.
It could be my next Battlestar Galactica.
I think it's at least filming wise and also actor wise. I think it's better than Battlestar. I won't say subject matter or plot wise yet. But they got a really good top built cast going in this, at least for sci-fi.
Even the people that died were good actors.
Yeah, fucking.
That's why they died, though. They couldn't afford to keep paying them.
I think the girl will come back in flashbacks.
Probably.
Definitely.
But like, I think like maybe the Mike, like from Breaking Bad, like I think maybe we'll only see him like maybe once.
One more time.
Like a flashback sequence
like a flashback,
before.
but just one. Because that's all they can pay for.
Yeah.
Like it's sci-fi, you know. I don't expect too much.
I do appreciate the cameo, and he did do a good job of acting apeshit crazy.
Yes,
though.
He has boobs.
Yeah. He's got Mike movies.
He's old though, so it's okay.
I'm sad about Fargo though. It's over.
Yeah. Into Fargo now. We're talking about the finale. Yeah, it's easy to be sad over it, but it's also easy to be excited because, like, dude, yes, there is a season 3, and this show's like.
I kind of feel that the last 2 episodes should have been shown as one.
Yeah.
Because in this episode, like, it was a good end to it, but that's all it really was.
You're right.
Everything of consequence pretty much happened in the episode before it.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Aside from that first, like, fucking 5 minutes, everything was wind down.
Yeah.
It was all winding down. Dude, but actually, though, like, yeah, you're totally right now that I think about it. I do like how within the first, like, 2 minutes, it showed all the people who died off camera dead.
Yeah.
So, like, there was no fucking debating. There's no
Even
debating
though
Otto didn't die or fucking Simone didn't die.
Otto, I thought he was outside in front of the house.
No, he was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It
shows him in the kitchen.
I know he was in the kitchen when they showed him, but I thought the last time they showed him before the shooting started, he was sitting out on the porch, like, alone, remember?
Nope.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you're talking about when Dodd was talking to Simone and he was like, you know what happens to a whore? She gets put out, and then, like, he was just watching in the background because he can't do anything.
And then Gene's all like, you don't touch that girl.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, you get the belt or you get the knife or something like that.
Yeah, you'll get put out like a dirty cigarette. And then...
Man, Dodd fucking...
And then the grandpa was like, oh, I can't do anything, but I agree with Dodd. Because he seemed like a dick.
Just shaking his head.
And then gets offed in the kitchen.
We learned that for a woman in the 70s fucking viewing the future like fucking Nostradamus, that Costco is heaven. Fucking that it's a place where you can get anything at any time. Like, it does sound kind of cool though, even though it's like kind of the best and the worst of society.
I thought she was dead.
I thought it was actually...
Yeah, you did think she was dead.
I mean, I don't...
And dude, even the frames were even crazier in this one, because like not only did it have that double framing going on, but even when she was talking about like fucking the future maybe not happening, it like had it in this like fucking full screen frame where it had like a 2-inch border on all sides, like framing it like. And then the second Patty Wilson walked out of that fucking hotel room that Ted Danson was in, it switched to full frame, and then it doubled it. They use the framing wonderful in this show, is just kind of what I mean. Very, very creatively, very uniquely, and I wish more shit did stuff like that.
I think they did that full frame thing so that it looked like tunnel vision, kind of like a dream.
Yeah. Exactly.
It just made me think of when they show like really old anime on like full or like widescreen TVs now.
Yeah.
They always have that shitty border.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it is kind of like that because they do that to like. They're doing it to shrink it, but they're also doing it to draw your like view into the center because that's the most important shit. I don't think it necessarily looks better.
It was just
I know what you mean. Like,
it was just so it didn't look like everything else.
Technically, everything looks better when it's smaller when it comes to art because it makes it look more detailed. Yeah. So yeah, I could see in anime why they do that, but I don't agree with it.
It's because stretching it to full screen will cut off part of the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm. Then it goes to fucking Ed and Peggy fucking running through the fucking supermarket and fucking locking themselves in a meat locker. And fucking basically, from that point forward, I guess, Peggy fucking hallucinating like a crazy person.
If you noticed, like, I mean, it might...
Did you see the lights? How they, like, went off, like, as soon as Hansi came in? I thought that was, like, supposed to signal to us, like, this is when reality breaks for Peggy. Yeah. No, not in the cooler, inside the grocery store when he's first coming in and he's like rampaging in. The lights go off right before he comes in and then they kind of flicker back on.
I didn't notice that.
And I thought that was like a subtle signal that like this isn't really real.
Yeah, that makes sense because they said that he was never there.
Yeah.
What I was gonna just kind of like that too, but when the smoke started coming in, the fan wasn't even on.
Yeah.
To blow the smoke in there. Yeah. So there's like almost no way the smoke could have been coming in like that.
Have you seen people smoke out stuff before? Where they put the fire there and then they kind of push it in themselves?
But that's not how smoke
how would you
works.
do that?
That's not how
that
smoke
ventilation
works.
System would be somewhere completely different.
I mean, you'd have to have like a smoke machine inside there behind the fan to pump out.
Or the entire like grocery store would have to be like on fire or something for that.
Or the AC would have to be blowing through.
She was Nurse Betty.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
pretty much. Damn, that movie.
Delusional. Delusional is the word.
Like
Peggy.
I'll never fucking like actually remember what happened in that aside from her going crazy and fucking Chris Rock fucking scalping. Yeah, scalping the dude, just screaming. It's like, it's crazy. It's a great visual.
Sorry, Indians.
I kind of thought that he was gonna kill. I really kind of wanted him to kill her.
Dude, okay, yeah, I kind of did. But no, going back to when she's being smoked out though, that movie that she was saying that it's just like this and whatnot, and like that's obviously her just losing her mind and fucking like making that happen in reality, right, for herself. But I feel like that fucking movie was like a metaphor in some way, like that I'm just not fucking seeing, that I'm not putting two and two together.
It was foreshadowed. That's why it zoomed in on it, so we wouldn't have to pay attention to what
what is it? But what is it foreshadowing? Because that didn't actually happen. You know?
You mean the show?
The movie.
Or you mean what happened to her?
The movie. Like, what is that foreshadowing though? Like, because I feel like it is
that they were going to be in
all of this stuff that she's.
But it wasn't real even.
Yeah, but she's so like zoomed. She's so zoned into this story that she's watching that she's like absorbing it as like her like what she wants her life to be like.
Except for the smoke, it was real. Like except for the smoking out part, it pretty much did happen. Like
there were two parts of symbolism in this episode that I wasn't sure of. That's one of them though. Like where it's like, okay, that obviously meant something. Like, and Peggy zones out each time it happened too. Like, she was watching it, and then that's when she fucking like lost concentration, and Dodd fucking got the drop on her. And then in this, she started visualizing it actually fucking happening to her. I think it just
goes back
and like
to her trying to escape her life
in
any way, and her mind doing it for her.
She's an escapist, and she also seems like she has this like kind of like craving for like the not normal. She wants her life to be turned upside down.
Wants to be more dramatized than it actually is.
Exactly.
It wants to be like a story. Well,
exactly.
Well, she wants it to like actually have like a this is a story being told, but there's no happy ending.
The minute she saw.
I get that, like, but like I feel like if somebody like David Lynch fucking watched this, like somebody that works in the way of symbolism, like he'd be like, oh yeah, the fire means this, and like, oh yeah, the man's disposition that like was protecting his wife means this in symbolism. Like I feel like I'm missing something, like that the Coen brothers put in there, but I'm just not seeing it. In
a way, Peggy finally got kind of what she wanted with Ed dying.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because she was obviously thinking about leaving him.
She was obviously thinking about leaving him.
She even admitted that.
She's experiencing this lightness of her character now because Ed's no longer there to tether her down to her responsibilities. And really the only thing she's got to deal with right now is jail.
That's what I was going to ask.
Possibly.
And what did she say? She was all like...
She wants to go to California.
Yeah, California jail.
So she can
She's
fucking... go tan.
That's what I was going to ask you guys off script.
No, so can I be tried federally so I can be in that prison north of San Francisco that looks out of the bay or something?
Yeah.
Like that?
I was going to ask you guys off script, do you guys think that she gets the insanity plea?
I would
Goes to a cuckoo's nest?
I don't think she's going to want to do that, but I think her lawyer is going to fucking probably
one of the main things about the insanity plea is you have to be able to prove you didn't know right or wrong at the time.
Yep.
And she immediately tried to hide the body.
Yep.
She did not actually immediately try to hide the body. She actually drove home with the body sticking out of her fucking windshield and then started washing the dishes and fucking left the body chilling there and made dinner. If
she didn't try to hide the body, then like she wouldn't have driven away with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's...
Yeah, she did, though, actually. Like, if she had tried to hide the body, she probably would have tried to hide the body right then and there. Like, but she literally...
That's hiding it by taking
or
it
at
home
least
with her.
took the body out of the windshield and put it, like, in the back seat. Like, or something like that. She didn't do shit. She literally, like, zoned out and fucking continued on the routine that she was on, like,
I was
going to
say, at least it seemed to me that, like, when Peggy hit him, it didn't even register with her.
Yeah,
she even said it too. She was
just
like,
fucking kept driving.
I'm the victim.
She wasn't even gonna.
But he was in the road.
She wasn't even gonna mention it to Ed until Ed fucking walked out in the garage and noticed it, and she was all like, "Oh."
Comes down to like her feeling inconvenienced by it.
I think it also speaks to her mental.
She just doesn't deal with that.
That's insanity.
Yeah, that's being a sociopath. That's not caring about someone. That doesn't mean you're insane.
Yeah, it does. No. It means your brain chemically isn't right.
It's not.
All the stuff that she was saying.
There are plenty of people who are sociopaths that aren't insane.
But all the stuff that she was saying to
I think that's actually debatable, dude. But like, I feel
you.
You.
Saying in the cop car was like,
it is debatable.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure even the police, when they write the report, they're gonna be like, she fucking snapped.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like it's her frayed mental state that fucking basically it was never good, obviously, like never good. But then that kind of like tipped her, and even while she's in the midst of it, she's talking about all that fucking self-help bullshit.
And this is the 70s, back when these kind of investigations and stuff sucked. So she could get away with insanity, but I think she does go to a fucking insane asylum.
Yeah, I kind of almost half expected for Peggy to be able to get witness protection.
No, not even.
I mean,
because you have to be a witness in a crime,
and they know she killed somebody.
She's gonna be in a prison or an institution. Yeah. Like that's where she's going.
I'm just saying, I half expected it. I didn't know if they were gonna take it that way or not, and we don't really know what happened to her.
Not only that, but fucking the only people that would come after her aside from Hansi are all dead. Like all of them are dead, and they actually know that they're dead. They have the bodies, so I don't think there's any even reason for fucking. Like, Hansi also showed that he wouldn't, go past a certain point to kill her. Like, basically, the second that Patty Wilson shot at him, he was out. Like, I'm pretty sure that's when he fucking bounced. Was when that window got shot out, he was just fucking gone.
I thought it was more so when he knew that, Bear was dead and that the mom was dead and that he didn't...
No, he's still chasing after Peggy and Eddie.
He followed him at least until...
Yeah, because he shot that old dude right in the fucking head.
That's true.
And then he shot Ed.
He jumped outside of the grocery store, yeah.
Here's the weird part.
Cop dude shot at her.
Here's the weird part is, even though I'm pretty sure Hansi knew that Ed wasn't fully responsible, I think that he didn't want to hurt Peggy. I think he wanted to hurt Ed, but I don't think I don't think he wanted to hurt Peggy.
I don't know. He cut up that fucking other chick.
He shot right at her when she went over the railing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But the reason I said that though was he was very violent towards Ed in that cabin.
Oh,
but he wasn't. But he wasn't treating her badly at all.
It's because he doesn't think of her as a threat.
I think it was also that she didn't view him as a threat either, and so
Plus,
but Ed did, and so
he had a gun on fucking Ed.
Yeah.
She's gonna listen.
We're way out of order, but we'll keep going.
And I'm pretty sure he knew that the bitch was crazy because he saw her fucking basement.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll come back to that.
I want to come back to that for a second.
Well, let's talk about what happens.
But Peggy's crazy actually really started to go down the rabbit hole the minute she started getting really actualized or whatever it was. When she saw that dude in the chair instead of Dodd.
Yeah.
That's when she just fucking snapped completely.
Dude in the chair instead of Dodd.
Are you fully actualized? Do you know the difference between
full-on hallucination?
Yeah. I really do want to know who that guy was.
You know what that is?
She just imagined.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? That's probably her at a loony bin getting interviewed.
Oh shit! That makes a lot of sense.
Do you know the difference between thinking and being? Huh? What are you talking about?
All of that stuff was
fucking crazy.
All of that stuff was the shit that the self-help course was spouting.
Yeah,
it was all made by a man.
That's true, but it could also be a psychologist talking to you and asking you that question.
Well, let's come back to Peggy. After we talk about but what happened at the Gearhart estate, where fucking Mike Milligan showed up and fucking he showed pity to the Indian lady. Dude, by the way. Goddamn, I guess we could have assumed, this shit was gonna happen, but they kind of sprung the whole, Hansi actually being, a legitimate Gearhart on us.
We've been theorizing that.
Well, they call him a brother and that he adopted him.
No, I mean, I straight up, at least I know I straight up said that he's an illegitimate child.
Well, you were right then.
No, he's not.
What?
I read an article that talked about it.
No, but did you hear
what
the
writers of the show said that they never even meant for that to happen?
No, but did you hear what fucking the slimy fucking New York guy said?
What do you say?
He said to Mike Milligan, he's like, "Hey, are you the kid that Otto had with the maid?" And so he was referring to Hansi, but he said it to Mike Milligan.
The engine in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, that's not what they meant. He said that he didn't mean it for that to be in that context.
Dude, and he said the
truth is Otto picked up this urchin off the fucking streets and it was Hansi that ran away from the...
Doesn't make any sense.
That's what he meant. But why would they say that was what they actually meant?
I have no idea. Because, dude, the way they wrote it...
Then who was the kid he had with the maid?
He didn't have a kid with the maid.
Why did the guy say that then?
Maybe he thought that.
Or he was just trying to be offensive to Mike Milligan?
I don't know. Or maybe he's
even though there was no black maid, there was only a
Or
red
maybe he was
maid.
saying, yeah, you're an N-word and he's an N-word too. I don't know. Something racist.
Or Bear.
I think Hansi was actually a Gearhart, and I think that's actually the crazy part, is that
it could be
the Gearhart Empire actually went on, but under the name of Tripoli.
Right, but that's the thing, like, the writer says that that's not what he meant to happen.
I would have words with this man.
Yeah, read it.
I want
look it up.
Cohen brother who said that. I want to talk to you.
It's Noah Hawley, not the Coen brothers. They didn't actually write any of this. They just put the money up for it. They're producers.
Oh. Well, Noah Hawley, I want to have words with you.
Yeah, he was like, nope, that's not what it... And then he said, like, he's like, yeah, Tripoli dies in season 1.
I don't buy it.
But that's another thing. Frankie was right about someone being Tripoli from the...
I said that it could have possibly been Bear.
But it was Hansi.
Which
I
was
didn't
a
fucking remember
spin.
Tripoli.
Which, in my opinion, doesn't make any damn sense, but okay.
It works for me in a way.
Wait, why does it make sense? Because I don't.
Because Hansi told me that. Hansi told me.
Yeah.
Because Hansi told all of us that he was tired of this life.
Yeah.
So why would he stick with the fucking trucking shit?
Because that one instance was like his window.
I think he straight up meant like his Indian life. Like I don't think he meant criminal shit at all.
I think he meant he was tired of the way he's being treated. But
the way I took it was like his life was at a fucking like turning point, right? He could have gone down the road where he just fucking never did any of this shit again. Peggy gave him the haircut and he was out, right? He never fucking killed or hurt anybody again. Just lived his life out like a fucking normal human being. Or he keeps doing what he does and fucking follows that to its fucking end, right? Which is basically what happened, right?
Yeah.
And no, I think that like he had the decision to do it then, but he chose the path of continuing down the road of fucking mayhem and destruction.
It makes sense. I just don't.
I think he had that split second. I think that was his one opportunity.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for him.
Goddamn, he had a fucking empire for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Or 30 years.
Did they show Tripoli?
Yeah, he was in the. He was. She.
No. I know. Oh, really? You showed what,
in season 1.
I didn't see the picture. Yeah.
In season 1, yeah.
I've seen season 1, but I really don't remember.
He's only in a restaurant scene, and then they don't even show him die.
Yep.
Because they don't show anybody die. They show the guy falling out the window.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they don't. I could have sworn they showed one person get blasted.
Billy Bob shoots a guy through a window, and then that was it.
Okay.
And then everything else was just gun blasts.
Man, I really need to watch fucking first season again.
I think I benefited from watching.
That's Tripoli.
Yeah, I just showed it to him.
Oh, he's got an eating GIF.
Yeah.
Wow, so Hansi got fat.
Yep.
Dude, Hansi looks just like the guy that gave him the identity too.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He's like, I want to look like this guy. So in case people come after me, I'll just tell them to kill him.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, right?
This guy looks familiar.
It's funny too because all the time that Mike Milligan is in the Gearhart house, right? He's like talking about, I'm king and I'm taking over shit. And it's like but then he ends up at that fucking business building where it turns out none of that shit means anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny actually how that turns out.
It's because like this, I guess the 70s turning into the 80s was kind of like the real thugs are the ones that are taking over Wall Street.
Corporate America.
I don't even think it's like the thugs more so than it was like, hey, the puppet masters, really. Like, it turns out everything that everybody was doing that they thought was fucking meaningful is really just assholes way, way up on the fucking top of the food chain making money. And that's all it really ever was. And then that kind of reared its head in the 80s. It basically showed its true colors.
What happens to Mulligan's buddy? We didn't even show what happens to him, the silent guy.
I assume he's just going to keep doing what he did.
He's just...
Yeah, he's going to keep killing people.
Literally, the only time he ever even made a noise was...
When he grunted?
Yeah, to that guy, that last one. He didn't even grunt. He was like, eh.
Yeah.
Like, and so, I mean, I think that was the end of his story.
Yeah. And we meet Hansi's assassins, the mute guy and the Jewish dude. Or whatever he is. You know, the Jewish... That's what he really is. The Jewish guy.
When?
In season 1, the guy that's deaf.
No, but when did we... Were those the two kids?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I was going to say.
Oh my god, I'm stupid. I just fucking.
You forgot
No,
about
I remembered the fucking deaf kid and stuff, but like
You didn't pop it?
I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah.
No, that's what the other metaphor I was gonna say that I didn't understand was the deaf kids.
Yeah.
And they weren't both deaf. One was deaf and one wasn't. Fucking.
They must have been brothers.
Doing sign language. Though.
I figured though that was something that I wasn't putting two and two together.
I didn't want to play this game.
Yeah, but I said they were both doing sign language.
Yeah.
And you're right though. The deaf kid didn't seem like the deaf guy didn't seem like he actually wanted to be a part of what was going on in season 1, if I remember correctly. Like he just ended up going along with it. Also because didn't his brother die?
Yep.
Like
he got put in the hospital.
Okay, going to Peggy in the back of the squad car, talking to Patty Wilson about that crazy motherfucking helicopter pilot and how he survived amongst like all that crazy shit, or like amidst all that crazy shit going on. I'm pretty sure that's Peggy, right? That's supposed to represent
it was supposed
Peggy.
To be Ed, I thought.
I thought it was Peggy because Ed didn't make it.
Yeah, but he was
Peggy made it.
He was saying Ed's like that guy.
No, he said he understood what Ed.
And then
Ed wanted to. No, he told the story, and then he jumped into saying that he understood what Ed was trying to do with protecting everything, right? But when he was saying how, like, I don't know how he survived. How did he survive through all that? I think he was referring to Peggy, because Ed did not survive. You know, Peggy survived.
But the whole family survived too.
But then Peggy fucking complaining though, or like
Peggy's
not complaining, but like kind of like talking about gender roles and stuff like that. I think that this season there were 3 things that there was an emphasis on, and one of them was gender roles. It was really gender roles. The other one was what happened to Mike Milligan, the oncoming corporate America, right? And then the third one was like fucking Vietnam and the aftermath of that. You know, like all 3 of those were just super strong in this, and fucking like in almost every bit of narrative, like throughout. There were no aliens in this.
Yeah.
Which also kind of screams that maybe the last episode and this one were meant to be mixed. Because
they said they talked about the aliens, but they didn't say like.
Yeah, when Patty Wilson got home.
Yeah, him and Dan or Ted Danson were like.
Well, he's like, I can't put that on the report.
Well,
you know?
I've seen some stuff.
And then they talked about fucking Ted Danson's crazy fucking runes and shit, which I thought that was dumb. I don't think that was dumb, but here's the part that I did think that was, it was weird because I don't know if the writers meant for this to happen, but like Noreen talking to Cancer Girl, what was his wife, right? Betsy. Okay, yeah, Noreen talking to Betsy. She was talking about Cad Moon, right, and the futility of life, and then Betsy's response was like, well, you can answer to God like that, right? Which kind of screams, like kind of American ideals at the time, they were pretty strong with Christianity and whatnot. But the act of creating a language, a universal language that united the entire species is very anti-Christian, actually. Well, no, like one of the biggest stories
the main thing I have to say about the whole language thing is he was talking about making symbols, but you need words to describe and explain symbols.
You know what language came out to try to unite the whole world? It was called Esperanto.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about with the Tower of Babylon, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, where we all had a language, and that allowed us to fucking unite and actually try to, like, basically rise to the power of God. And that goes against...
There's this theory, I can't remember where I first heard about it, but there's this thing called an intelligent language. And
Aliens.
it's a created language that is made to allow people to communicate with no misunderstandings at all. Like, when you speak in this, you perfectly, like, the person hearing it perfectly understands what you're trying to say to them.
Yeah.
And understands it in every way. And, like, so I kind of think that's what
real?
they were going for. It's an idea.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
it's not a real thing.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get that what you're talking about until we have some form of like psychic shit, but basically a way to register empathy, a way to register how the person feels while they're saying what they're saying. Also,
well, I mean, we have,
because otherwise there's
like, you either have empathy or you don't.
Well, I mean, no matter what, even when you kind of understand what that person's saying, there's still going to be a misunderstanding on some level. But even if you don't understand what they feel, because like you can understand what they're trying to communicate a little bit, but you will never understand the extent, how much, like that type of thing, until we can register empathy.
But do you think Uncle Ted Danson did this because he saw aliens and then thought, like, holy shit, we need to come together as a planet?
Actually, I don't think.
Or do you think it had nothing to do with aliens at all, and he was just like, I need something to do. Well, we need language.
No, well, he said it was because his wife died, right? But I think it was actually a mix. No, he did. He said it after your mom died, I had a lot of spare time.
After his wife died.
Yeah,
and because of all the horrible things he saw in the war.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I think it was because of World War II.
That's what he said.
Well,
he said it was.
I think most of it was because of World War II and what he saw.
He could have saw aliens in the war.
I think something completely different, and I think that maybe while he was making this language, the aliens like saw what he was doing.
That's a possibility too.
Oh, hey, that's something we want you guys to be doing. We recognize these
symbols, or they gave him the idea in the first place.
If you think about it, though, he was going backwards because he was just remaking runes.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing.
Also, I kind of disagree with what he said in general. Not really with the house imagery, but with the heart, meaning love. I'm like, dude, a heart to us means love, but dude, if somebody else looked at a heart, they might just think it looked like a butt or something, That's
why that is there. That's because it was made to look like a girl's butt when she's bent over.
Or boobs.
And that means
whatever.
No, that's why it became like the symbol for like Valentine's Day and like all that shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought it was really weird how like in that scene, like he said that like when you like come close to death or whatever, you see the faces of your children.
Yeah.
And they said you'll know when the angels come because they'll have the faces of your children.
Yeah.
Okay, and at that time he was sitting there talking to his daughter.
And basically his son-in-law.
And his son-in-law, yeah.
I think that's what he meant. But
and I was just like, wait, what if they're not actually really in this living room right now? What if they're like holding his hand and he's like in a hospital bed, but this is what they're showing us?
If that's the case, then like it still means kind of what he said though, because like let's say let's go a step further and let's say Ted Danson is dead.
Yeah.
He's still with the people that he loves.
Well, that's
even
what I'm
saying. Even if they're angels in disguise.
Basically what I'm saying.
The little girl would have been there though.
Well, she's technically a child of his too, if you think about it in like
she wasn't even in the room
sense.
at the time.
I felt like she would have been there though.
Oh, okay.
If she was dying.
She hugged him when they came in.
Yeah. I like the cameos, by the way.
She would have just been sitting there quiet
from the season 1 people. They still look good, and it got me pumped for season 3. Because I'm like, man, I want to see them more.
They said season 3 is not going to have any of them.
You said it won't focus on them. That doesn't mean it won't.
He said it won't have any of them.
It said it's not going to have any of them.
Not even as a cameo?
Maybe cameo.
No, because she's the chief
It's not going to have the
police,
chief police girl. Nope. Yeah. She's not going to be in it.
I call bullshit.
The writer said he didn't want to put her through anything more as a character because she had been through so much already.
But I still think that there's going to be like a phone call or something. She'll be like, oh yeah, it happened
She'll
here
just be in a
a few
position
years
where
ago.
she has to always be in the office, but she'll never be involved.
Yeah, fair enough, but I still think that we're going to see her on camera. Maybe only just like we saw her this season, you know?
Who knows? It might not even have cops in it this time.
I thought it was also really interesting how, like, when Patty Wilson put the daughter to bed and he was tucking her in, he was like, hey, how about we go fishing tomorrow? And that was, like,
She likes to eat.
Well, that was the thing. The wife said, like, when you take her fishing, you have to feed her more than beef jerky or whatever. Like, you have to actually feed her.
Oh, burgers. Got it.
And, like, I was taking that as, like, the wife is going to die that night. That was, like, her last night.
Oh.
And that's why when he went to sleep, he closed his eyes, and she had this like serene look on her face, and she was awake, and then she closed her eyes.
Well, it's also because earlier in this series they were talking about how he took her fishing, and all he took to eat was beef jerky.
And she was saying, "I'm not going to be around anymore, so you have to feed her more than that." Like,
that's because he took.
You have to be a better parent.
She's gonna die.
Mission accomplished, yo. That. He definitely
it was like a subtle way of saying that she was going to die.
It showed her in like middle school and through high school.
I know. She was not. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, but she still had her metabolism. Maybe he gave her the appetite, and then like her body just couldn't facilitate.
I honestly thought that in the last episode we watched that she died in front of her daughter, and then the daughter just like started eating as a fucking like because that happened in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the daughter just started eating to feel better.
Didn't in season 1? Didn't he own a diner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And she was always going there to eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking damn me. But yeah,
he retired and then he did that.
Yeah, it's just been a while. But yeah,
that's cool. I'm glad I watched it.
Fargo season 2, very quality. I really liked it a lot.
One of the best shows on television right now.
Dude, I would say one of the best shows I've seen on television, period, almost. Like, it's just consistent quality, and, like, I hope that season 3 keeps it up, and I don't see why it wouldn't, but, like, I really hope it does.
I think it's going to be hard for season 3 to keep up with, like, the awesomeness of season 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Season 2 really had the plus of, like, having that 70s era setting.
It really
too.
did.
And, like, dude, like, when it's done right, the 70s is such a good playground for fucking stories, man. It's just really good.
That rug really tied the room together.
Yeah. Dude, even that, like, the Coen brothers do era pieces, great, because that's even, like, early 90s. And that does it like The Big Lebowski does almost perfectly represent the early 90s. Like
what they need to do is, because the main problem with season 3 is going to be because season 1 and season 2 both tied back to the first Fargo in certain ways, the characters and themes and stuff. And season 3, what they're going to have to do is just find some new, like,
the theme
because it's going to be crime again.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be the
they're all crime.
Thing.
Yeah. The whole theme of this show is crime.
I feel like the main theme of Fargo isn't necessarily crime, but it is crime, but it is crime that normal Joes inadvertently stumble their way into and have to fight their way out of, and usually don't succeed, and that's where the dark comedy comes in.
What I was going to say, though, is the one thing they'll be able to pull, like, from the others without actually taking characters or anything is they're going to have to still get that same feeling of, like, isolation that the other two had, because that's the main reason why all this stuff happened is because like, even though they're in, like, communities and stuff, it's still, like,
small.
Yeah, it's like these are relatively isolated places, so this type of fucked up shit can happen without people noticing right off the bat.
Yeah, it's kind of going off of that kind of thing that David Lynch talks about in Twin Peaks too, where it's like small town happenings, the underbelly, you know, of like these places that seem like they're fucking like a page out of the 50s.
Like, I could see it being,
but then
like,
there's all this fucked up shit happening in the background.
Being like there's like serial killers or something going around, and nobody knows what's going on, and so people have to find it or something.
God damn it! Don't get me excited.
It just makes me think that Minnesota's just a bunch of idiots. Well, Fargo's just a bunch of idiots.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they're kind of like out there, and they're like all separated and stuff, and it's all cold and shit.
You know what they need?
And
nothing big
ever
really.
Minnesota, and they need to have him. Scott Steiner.
Yeah, no.
No.
No,
if
like
the big bad booty daddy's in season 3, I'll be very happy.
But what you're saying though is like they're isolated, but like also like they go long stretches of time without anything fucking happening. Like kind of the picture that's painted like in Fargo is that like the 70s were the fucking last time that anything fucking of this level even happened like that, and then it was just nothing until Billy Bob showed up.
Well, it's because almost like other than what happened in the movie Fargo, like.
Well, I don't think that exists in the same universe as the shows.
It does. Because remember, the guy we thought was Meatloaf for years, he found that bag of money that they threw out the window at the end. Or not threw out the window, he buried it in the snow and put the scraper in it.
Yeah, but I thought Billy Bob did that in the first season.
That wasn't Billy Bob. That was
in the movie.
Oliver Platt.
That was in the movie.
No, Oliver Platt found it, but I thought Billy Bob hid the money there.
No,
that wasn't him that did it.
Okay,
that was money that he just found.
That was from the movie.
So you didn't see
that
anybody
money,
hide the movie in the first season or hide the money?
That money being hidden there was from the movie.
I'm obviously like fucking shaky on the first season, but I could have sworn an actual character hid it from.
That was from the movie. He hid that there. He found that.
No, I remember him hiding it in the movie, but I could have sworn that in the show that somebody hid it. I guess I was wrong.
No, I didn't see anyone hiding it. I just remember Oliver Platt in his car, and the car died.
Well, I'll believe you on
this. We're
this.
gonna die in here, and then he went out to the snow and saw that red thing, and then
the scraper.
That's really weird though, because like you think that they would have like.
God for help.
You think that they would? He even has the same name as the character though in the fucking movie. You know?
King?
No, Lester.
Yeah,
Lester has the same name as William H. Macy, and like almost the same exact fucking scenario plays out. Like not like with him getting like. Mixed up with a Billy Bob Thornton character, but like him accidentally murdering his wife.
That was basically the one major tie to the movies, other than that the crimes happened in Fargo.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought it was just like, oh, it's the same general premise, except hey, we're gonna make him go down a different rabbit hole this time instead of like running into Steve Buscemi.
The writer said that they're all in the same universe.
That stuff was that money was there because of the events of the first.
No, that makes sense to what you're saying. It's just in my head, like because I remembered it incorrectly or whatnot. I figured that some other character had put it there.
Yeah, he thought he planted it there.
No, I thought somebody else.
Billy Bob wouldn't have planted that money there. He would have just took it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Billy Bob did a lot of weird shit.
He was just trying to get the money.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, but it's all like a planning thing for Billy Bob. Like, he has a lot of fucking pigeons lined up.
He also likes to play with people.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but I think it was Steve Buscemi that hid the money.
Yeah, it was.
He did.
He did it, like, randomly, too. Like, almost in a way that he didn't seem like he'd be able to even find it again. Because remember at the
scraper there.
No, but do you remember at the very end of Fargo the movie where there's like a big fucking snowplow going and it fucking blows hell? Yeah, it just covers up what he hid.
Yeah.
So there's no way to fucking even find it.
I mean,
it would have had to have been a thaw or
Obviously,
something.
it did, but like I don't know how that works other than like, hey, this was there too. Like,
just rewatch it and see. Maybe they say something.
The only way it would make sense, other than like, hey, we're using this as the landmark to represent the movie, right? The only way it would work is if Oliver Platt found it before the fucking snowplow blew that shit over. He dug it up and then he fucking covered it back up and put that shit right back where it was. And then the movie shows it.
I just remember Steve Buscemi hiding it there before he went back to the house and then got killed by the crazy
That's exactly
guy.
what happened.
Yeah.
I noticed that Billy Bob was like investing in people.
Yeah, no, he was blackmailing upwards of like 50 people.
Well, like he was like, okay, Lester's this low level guy. I'm gonna help him and then keep an eye on him. And then when he starts getting really famous and money, then I'm gonna come
Strings
to him.
Exactly. It wasn't there like a time jump even like a couple
of years.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, for sure. I want to watch it again. But yeah, season 2, fucking A, good job. All right, Dryvers, episode 1. This is a fucking show coming out of the blue. Like I didn't hear anything about this before.
I was gonna say I don't even know if this is actually even a show.
It did say episode 1.
It said episode 1. It does, but like I also feel like.
Well, okay. The premise of this was it was digging up Kevin McAllister, right?
Yeah.
So I assume that the new Dryvers episodes past this, if there are any, will also dig up old fucking movie characters.
Maybe.
And fucking be all like, well, this is what their life is like in 2015. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Dryvers with like Mel Gibson and him talking about like fucking Lethal Weapon or Danny Glover. You know, like, I was too old for that shit.
I think if anything,
I'm like,
they just dig up old child actors.
I was gonna say, I think it might be more
be
child actors because, like.
Oh, you think they'll get the ham?
Yeah.
From fucking.
Maybe.
No, but he'd be too old for his character because remember he grew up in the 50s.
They got donkey lips. Donkey lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could go to Camp Anawana. That makes sense. They grew up in the 90s. Same time.
But basically, the idea is that like in this episode, at least Kevin McAllister is driving like an Uber type car, and he's come to pick somebody up because his wife Anna ended up doing too much cocaine the night before, and she couldn't do her job, which was basically being a taxi. And so he's taken over for her, but he can't drive.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he doesn't know how to drive. He obviously drove there.
Yeah, he doesn't. But he doesn't know how. But he drove there, so I don't know what that means. But
it means that he knows how to press the pedal and go forward and keep himself from hitting buildings, but I doubt he knows the rules of the road.
Okay, but technically this allows him to actually, like, he basically asks the guy that he's picking up if he'll drive or whatever, or he offers to drive or something like that. And so the guy who's being picked up ends up driving the car, and this allows Kevin McAllister to sit in the back seat, play around with a cigarette while he talks about his childhood.
Yeah, does he even smoke that fucking thing? Or does
he doesn't light it up.
Yeah, I'm like, he's just fucking acting like a tweaker, like, that is always thinking about it and just never does.
He's just being Kevin.
Yeah. Well,
or he's being Macaulay.
Macaulay, I think that's more Macaulay than Kevin.
But he's super pale and he's talking about how fucked up like it would actually be for this shit to have actually happened in reality. And then he gets held up. And yeah, like then basically all of that repressed trauma and whatnot that isn't so repressed, I guess he's just talking about it to everyone. But it starts getting put to use. Not only does he fucking defeat the man with booby traps, but then he ties him up and fucking decides to torture him and murder him. Which actually brings the question to mind, like, do you think that Kevin was actually the Uber driver that he called, or do you think that Kevin may have even fucking killed the Uber driver before? Huh. Or do you think he was just an Uber driver that the guy holding him up triggered something in him, and then he fucking ended up murdering the guy?
Hard to say.
Well,
he
it was
called
kind of
him
weird.
The home invader.
It was kind of weird because like the phone that he had like a pink case. So I thought like for a second like maybe it wasn't his phone, but then it had the like Christmas Home Alone music playing as the ringtone for the mom.
He had his fingernails. His
fingernails were painted different colors too. So maybe he's just eccentric and has a pink phone case. That's totally cool.
He should have had a talk boy.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Talk boy.
But yeah, it was just like a 5-minute little short video that was kind of fun, and like especially if you're like a fan of Home Alone, like I am, like it was really kind of cool.
He did the scream.
He did the scream
and
at the end during the credits.
It was perfect. It was just like I remember.
It was perfect, but also like way more like maniacal.
Well, yeah,
like,
because he's
of the
old
setting
and
the blood on his face,
crazy sweaty hair, and he's covered in blood.
Yeah.
He should have done that scream, the dancing voice too, when he was spinning around the.
Yeah. I was kind of sad that he didn't talk about Uncle Frank.
Yeah, he should have said something about Uncle Frank molesting Fuller.
or molesting him.
No, I saw Uncle Frank in the shower and it ruined my manhood.
No, it would have made more sense with Fuller, because Fuller is the one who uncontrollably wets the bed, and that is a side effect of sexual abuse.
It's okay.
But wasn't there also that deleted
Fuller died in Fargo.
But wasn't there that deleted scene where Uncle Frank like touched him inappropriately?
No, he didn't.
Freaked out
he didn't touch him inappropriately. He pantsed him, and that's not that big of a deal.
He pantsed him, but people freaked out about it, and so they cut it from the movie.
Really? Which movie was this?
It was the first one. It was the first one.
When does he pants him?
It was okay.
It was cut.
This is a deleted scene.
Yeah.
No, but when in time?
It was.
I don't know. I haven't seen the scene.
It was at the very.
In the house?
It was at the very beginning, and it was when the kids were all running around while Joe Pesci was down dressed as the fucking police officer. And I want to say, like, it looked like right after or right before the fucking
pizza.
The shitty fucking squinty-eyed fucking sister called him les incompetents. Like, it was like either right before it or right after that, because like everybody was still fucking rushing around, and it was like on their way to the dinner table, and Frank's all like, "Hey Kevin, blah 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 blah. Hey, look over there," and Kevin like looked over there, and he was like, "Boink!" And then Kevin was like, "Ah, my pants!" Like in his head, he didn't say that. Like,
but yeah, I was hoping for an Uncle Frank reference, but it's okay.
I would have fucking even hoped for an Uncle Frank cameo, but this was very low budget. You could obviously tell.
Yeah.
If that guy's even still alive.
Yeah, right?
I bet Macaulay did it for free.
No, I'm sure he did. He probably just was like, this sounds like a really cool thing. I would love to do that.
Macaulay Culkin generally doesn't seem like he does anything anymore unless he thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not doing that shit for money. Like, that kid.
I've seen him
That grown-up has lots of money.
I've seen him model t-shirts, so...
Yeah, but I bet he really fucking likes those t-shirts, though.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt he does... I doubt he does anything, like, that he doesn't want to do anymore, basically. And has since he was, like, what, 12?
Yeah. Since The Good Child, or The Good Son.
The Good Son.
I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
it was a quick 5-minute thing. It was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll watch Ryder... Was it Riders?
Drivers.
I don't know if I'll watch Driver 2.
Oh, come on.
We'll see. I mean, I want to wait and kind of see what's going to be the next one.
No, it won't be him. It'll be somebody else.
It depends on who it is.
Because it's basically going to be...
It'll be like a different driver every time.
Gary Coleman.
Yeah, it's got... Gary Coleman's
dead,
isn't he?
Did they use the ghost of CG?
There's just a corpse.
Wait. Gary Coleman's midget ghost. Emmanuel Lewis.
Yeah, that's who I was
thinking.
Thought
he was dead too.
Yeah,
no,
I'm pretty sure.
He's still alive.
One of them is dead. One of them is 100% dead.
Gary Coleman is definitely dead.
Webster is still alive. That's Emmanuel Lewis.
I always liked Webster more anyway.
I grew
up in the 80s, I guess, so like I didn't get to see.
How about the girl that played oh my god, what was that one with the girl that had the
Slappy
dog?
and the Stinkers? What?
No. The girl that had the dog and she had that older grandpa, and he adopted her, and
older dad.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I want Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, he's already dead, remember?
No, he's not. You're a liar. You are a liar, and your pants are on fire.
Okay, JTT wouldn't be too bad.
It'd be really cool.
If we're just talking about child actors, let's see who.
Punky Brewster, that's who I meant.
I was gonna say that.
Punky Brewster.
Soleil Moonfry or whatever.
Yeah.
There's also Blossom.
I was gonna say
TV would be okay.
Corey Feldman.
Steve Urkel.
Corey Feldman.
We don't need to see any more Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman would be really good, actually.
He could be the guy from the kid from Lost Boys.
Corey
Yeah.
Feldman
Yeah.
as
No.
Corey Haim.
Or he could just be Mouth.
That's
from
right,
Fucking,
that's right.
From fucking Goonies. Or he
Yeah.
could fucking. Or we could pick anybody from Goonies.
No, I think
Yeah,
actually.
Sean
Because
Astin.
Data.
If
We
he
could
was-
do the. Or
If he-
Sean
'cause
Astin.
he,
Yeah.
He would
Or
get into the car
Chunk.
and be all like, "Are you a vampire?" And like basically try to kill the guy getting in the car. 'Cause he thinks
oh
he's a
God, what's the
vampire.
older brother? Fucking Thanos. He's fucking.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Brolin.
He would never do that.
What? Why?
Because he's like way too up his own butt.
Really?
Yeah.
He's all like, I'm a big purple alien and I fuck Diane Lane.
I was gonna say he
now."
fucks Diane Lane,
Get
so
outta
he's too
here.
good for
I
pretty
don't
much
need to do
anything if
that.
it doesn't have six figures.
You saw me.
attached to
I did
it.
Spike Lee's Old Boy. It
How
was
about
like not even as good as the real
Anakin
Korean movie.
Skywalker.
Yeah. If they let him out of jail,
Fucking what's his
the
name?
drunk tank.
Oh my God, that would be ridiculous.
He's like, I don't know, man. I've seen pictures of me later on, and I look completely different than I do now.
Just have Christopher Lloyd be
my head's way
his-
skinny.
when he was in Taxi. Just have Christopher Lloyd be the guy that he was in Taxi.
It's got to be child actor.
Child actors.
No, it doesn't have. It doesn't have to be a child actor. I'm kidding. We could.
Danny DeVito.
We could have Marty McFly.
Danny DeVito,
That,
I could see doing it.
That was in the car
I want him to
accident.
fart in the
one
car and
from
then
the-
lock all the doors and lock the windows.
Jesus.
And then
Or he's
Wait.
just got his troll foot and he's
Yeah,
driving with
the
it.
troll foot.
Yeah.
Taking a pic. Check it out, man. Trollfoot's driving. They'll be like, "What?"
And he's
are
like
you
picking
doing?
his teeth with the toe knife.
Yeah, it'll be Charlie Day.
No, he's sitting in the passenger seat and he's farting, and like the person in the back seat's freaking out, and he's like, "Don't worry, I let my farts do the driving." It's like,
Well, anyways. That's,
okay,
that's
anyway,
Driver.
Drivers. I hope for good things and very creative ideas that fucking explore fucking
And you
after
can-
stories of the movies that we loved when we were children.
And you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good.
Go check
It's
it
really
out.
good.
It's really funny.
And that's all for the